Middle East trip in Saudi Arabia. We have the details. Plus, learn more about Pope Leo XIV and the Order of St. Augustine from a close friend of the newly elected pontiff. Join us for news from a Catholic perspective tonight.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Hello, family, and welcome to a wet and rainy St. Peter's Square here, live, covering the first couple of days of our new Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV. And I'm here with our regular family guests, Monsignor Landry, the National Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies USA, and Dr. Matthew Bunson, the Editorial Director and Vice President of EWTN News, and also soon-to-be biographer of Pope Leo XIV. We'll talk about that a little later. And Mother Anna Grace of the Dominican Sisters, but you have a much longer, more special name.
We are the Dominican Sisters of St. Cecilia from Nashville, Tennessee.
And you also have another very important title, leading communities of women religious with the CMSWR, the Council of Major Superiors of Women Religious, right?
That's correct. I'm currently the president of that council.
And a great president that you are, here on mission to share with all of the dicasteries the great work that women religious are doing in addition to their needs.
Thank you so much.
What can you tell us about those meetings and why you've come to Rome?
Well, each year we have an opportunity to come and meet with the different dicasteries, and this year we had a little surprise because some of those meetings happened, but some of them did not happen because there happened to be a conclave.
That's right, but you were in the square and you got to see the white smoke.
Yeah, we were.
Why you've come to Rome?
Well, each year we have an opportunity to come and meet with the different dicasteries, and this year we had a little surprise because some of those meetings happened, but some of them did not happen because there happened to be a conclave.
That's right, but you were in the square and you got to see the white smoke.
Yeah, we were very close to the square, actually, Monse. We heard the bells and we were ready to run at a moment's notice, and lo and behold, we did have to run. So we heard the bells from a bit of a distance and heard white. So with throngs of other people, we started to run towards St. Peter's. Absolutely thrilling, hearing all different languages and different cultures all coming together to be one here in the square, waiting for our new Holy Father.
And when you heard the name, did you know who they were talking about?
Initially, not exactly, but then in hearing that it was an American, of course, we're a little bit stunned and amazed, but such a joy filling us, and even all of the people around us just absolutely thrilled to hear his voice and to see his very peaceful, powerful presence.
A beautiful, peaceful, powerful presence and a very prayerful presence. I think for you all who have such beautiful voices, what was it like then this Sunday to hear him sing the Regina Coeli?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And of course, as religious, we sing and chant very much. And the Holy Father, as a religious himself, would bring that aspect of depth to his prayer. And I think St. Augustine himself says, he who sings prays twice.
A lot of people
He who sings well prays twice. Quis bis bene cantat bis orat.
I'm not
Bene
sure everyone
cantat bis
adds
orat.
that in, Monsignor Landry, but we'll let you keep
He does sing well.
He does sing well. Well, we weren't the only ones that were incredibly excited. There actually was a group of seminarians in Peru, former seminarians of the former Cardinal Prevost, who also had a reaction. Let's take a look at that. Oh my goodness, it's like there was a goal at the World Cup or something, right? I think we all felt that way. I'm sure there were a lot of Americans who felt that way. A big win for the American church, in addition to obviously the universal church, as we know that he will be a father to all with the experience that he has from the Americas, but also that wonderful heart of an Augustinian. From living in community, what can you tell us about his spirituality and how that might be a little different?
Oh, wonderful. Well, as an Augustinian, he lives a contemplative and an apostolic life, and so he brings a special understanding of religious and their place in the church, and also as a bishop has an amazing understanding of the universal church, so both the hierarchical and also the charismatic.
Well, I know in October we have the Jubilee for Consecrated Life, and we're all looking forward to seeing all of the habits and all the different communities that will be represented. But for you, do you think there's something in particular that religious communities need from the Holy Father that should be a priority for him?
I think the Holy Father has already brought encouragement and clarity in the nature of in the essence of what religious life is for the church. He's already encouraged praying for vocations and clarifying really for us what religious life really is for the church, and it's a total consecration of a life to God, and he's living that himself and will bring that into every aspect of the church.
Monsignor Landry, Pope Francis had a legacy with consecrated life and with religious congregations as well. What can you tell us about the changes he made that might be a roadmap or a turnaround for Pope Leo?
Well, of course, he called the first year of consecrated life in the history of the church in order first to celebrate the extraordinary gift that we have in men and women religious and consecrated virgins and consecrated hermits, you name it. But then he wanted the whole world to see in religious life the way for us really ourselves to crop three of us up and all EWTN viewers.
Certainly, and I think this is to pray for religious vocations. Integration religious vocations, that was something very intentional that he said. Why do you think he made that such a focus?
Well, first, as he noted during the Regina Caeli, that this was the day for praying for vocations in the church. But he also recognizes as a missionary of many, many years, as a bishop of many years, and also then as prefect for the dicastery for bishops, the importance of that vocation. But the discernment in all of our lives.
Them is Cardinal to the press explaining some of that. One of them is Cardinal Sacco, who went on TV in Arabic and was explaining that what happened there was a misvote, a double vote. Do you want to explain that to us, Matthew?
Yes. Well, apparently he didn't get into absolute specifics as to what happened, probably to spare the cardinal involved.
He didn't name names.
Additional embarrassment. But essentially what happened was when they did the tally, and as we have learned over these weeks, it is very precise, the scrutineers and the revisers, they discovered that instead of 133 votes, there were actually 134 votes.
That's right.
So they realized, and one of the cardinals, to his horror, realized he had accidentally voted twice, which invalidated the vote.
It must have been one of the three from Chicago, based on U.S. history. Who knows?
Vote early and often. Yes, I understand. So by the rules, they had to start over. So we had been pondering why it would have been so late, because we had white smoke when we thought they would just be moving on to what would have been the fifth vote. So by doing it again, that added that extra time. So mystery solved.
Yes.
And the same thing happened when Pope Francis was elected in 2013. In that case, there was an extra blank that was put in there, so they had to redo the vote one last time as well.
This, I think, is one of the reasons why I understand that in his meeting with the cardinals, based on some of the media reporting, Pope Leo was asked if he would consider starting to look at possibly reforming exactly how they do these. Yeah. Granted, we don't...
We'll be communicating that to them as well.
Important that is for the validity's sake. And yes, they'll be very
as a Catholic.
The young, and will know how to reach them. I think he will understand that engaging the media is going to be crucial in helping our young people.
Think about the importance of information and education, especially from a teaching order. How did
us, which is truth, so preaching the truth on the gospel.
Well, we did see that the whole
people,
knowing that
for our salvation.
Well, we did see that the Holy Father decided to keep the pontifex
Jesus.
Teaching tool on Twitter. No.
And we had some wonderful encounters. One of our
So the young people, for the U.S. And these young people who they want to know the truth. They want to know what the church.
People are realizing there might be
Through the Valley of Tears as we
being statistics, and NBC, which is remarkable that you would have your brother criticizing you. Some people said that he left.
important to all.
and went back as a librarian, but she exercised her spiritual maternity, and it those are going to be
Religious, similar to the way that Pope Benedict decided to form the people who were around him. That choice from his mom, or who
Where they realize that they are loved by their parents, ultimately by God, which will give them
a live show, and she surprised him with an answer from a caller.
Let's talk about vocations. And so I gave this little spiel about vocations, and this young lady talked to your pastor, and Mother Angelic said, my mother didn't want me to be a nun either.
Sometimes it, yes,
she had to run away from home.
Talk about vocations. And so I gave this little spiel about vocations, and
from home. That was the advice from Mother Angelica to a young woman who thought she had a vocation.
Lots of women religious have done it. I could give a whole list, but one who's very dear to everybody at this time of year. That's what St. Faustina Kowalska did.
Yes.
She had to run away from home as well.
Well, I think it's a beautiful way to remember, to be welcomed into his arms and to serve his church.
You can do a pre-order right now. We're working.
It's really nice here not to be covered in the rain so that we could continue to bring these live broadcasts to you from St. Peter's Square to help you get to know the Holy Father, what his heart really has inside of it, and what he will be as a gift to our church, a gift we all prayed for as a community. And I want to remind you all that, as Mother Angelica said, to keep us between your electric bill and your gas and electric bill, I hope that you will also keep us in your prayers and in your heart and support our mission here to continue to bring you, especially more important now than ever, as we have the first ever American Pope, to bring you that wonderful communication of the church in the world and a closest to Christ for those who need it most. Thank you for being with us, and God bless you.